Hello and welcome to Flyer Nation, your source for the latest in the world of Lewis athletics. Thanks for joining us today on LUTN. I'm Shane Gustafson. Joining us later in the show is Lewis head track and field coach Dana Schwarting. He'll talk about his team's overall success so far this season, as well as talk about some of the team's standouts. But before we get to that, let's take a look at some other Lewis Flyer headlines. When the number 17 Lewis men's basketball team looked at their schedule at the beginning of the season, they saw Southern Indiana and Bellarmine on their list of opponents, but had no idea what the season would have in store for them. Fast forward to the end of January, where we find the Flyers nationally ranked, sitting third in their conference and having one of the best seasons they've been having in recent history. The bad news, though, is both Southern Indiana and Bellarmine were also nationally ranked and came into the Neil Carey Arena back-to-back. However, that didn't stop the Flyers from continuing their successful season and picking up wins. Last Thursday night, the number 9 Screamin' Eagles traveled to Romeoville to challenge the Flyers, but the men were able to keep possession of the ball and make shots. In fact, the Flyers' turnover rate was the lowest it had been since 2004. Junior Ryan Jackson had a game-high 20 points, while junior Jeff Jarosz had 15 on the night. Julian Lewis and Kyle Nelson both added 12 points to add to the Flyers' 73-63 victory. Just 2 days later, the Flyers welcomed number 7 Bellarmine into the Neil Carey Arena in what was expected to be a hard-fought game. However, the Flyers were able to score 22 of the first 24 points and maintain a lead throughout the entire game. Ryan Jackson once again led the team in points with 23 on the afternoon. Jeff Jarosz once again stepped up for the Flyers, collecting 19 points, while Julian Lewis and Nick Valla each collected 12 points. The Flyers came away with the second win of the weekend, 76-68. Head coach Scott Troze said picking up these victories last weekend was just what the Flyers needed.
Two really good wins against quality teams that are going to be competing for conference championships. So it's 2 games, but now got a big weekend coming up on the road. It's always difficult on the road.
The men's team will be back in action this Thursday as they hit the road to travel to Indianapolis to take on the Greyhounds. Tip-off is set for 7:45 Eastern Time. Let's take a look at the current GLVC standings for the men's team. They're currently sitting in the number 3 spot, tied with Indianapolis for the second place position. UW Parkside is still undefeated and leads the conference, while Southern Indiana is sitting in 4th place, just behind the Flyers. Well, the men weren't the only ones picking up big wins last weekend at the Neil Carey Arena. The number 23 Lewis women's basketball team took on Southern Indiana and Bellarmine as well, coming away with similar results as the men. The Flyers did battle with the Screaming Eagles last Thursday night and were led by redshirt sophomore guard Jamie Johnson, who collected a career-high 27 points on the night, with 15 of those points coming off 3-point shots. Sophomore Mariah Henley collected her 15th double-double of the season and totaled 16 points. Junior Jess Reinhardt collected 12 points to help the Flyers come away with their win over Southern Indiana, 95-85. Just 2 days later, Bellarmine came into the Neil Carey Arena, and the Flyers found themselves down early on in the game. The Flyers were down by 9 at halftime, but rallied in the second half with the help of Jamie Johnson, who collected a total of 26 points in the game. Junior Jess Reinhardt scored 24 points against the Knights, putting her over the 1,000 career point mark. The ladies didn't miss much from the field, knocking down 32 of 61 shots. Head coach Lisa Carlson says the changes the team made at halftime helped them win the game.
Key situations down the stretch and some key stops, especially in the second half of both games, I think were the difference in both ball games.
The ladies will be back in action on Thursday on the road as they battle for first place in their conference against Indianapolis. Tip-off is set for 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's take a look at the women's overall standings in the GLVC East. The Flyers are tied with Indianapolis for first place, with Southern Indiana and Bellarmine sitting behind them. With a win on Thursday, the Flyers could capture sole possession of first place. Well, the number 10 Lewis men's volleyball team had a successful weekend on the road as they took on number 13 Harvard and Sacred Heart. On Friday night, the Flyers went to Harvard and were able to come away with 62 kills, 15 of which came from junior outside hitter Jeff Powell. Junior outside hitter Greg Petty came away with 11 kills and 3 assists with the Flyers' 3-1 victory. On Saturday night, the Flyers traveled to Fairfield, Connecticut to take on Sacred Heart. Greg Petty was once again a leader for the Flyers, hitting 706 on the night with 14 kills. Jeff Powell collected 7 kills on the night, and freshman Jacob Schmiegelt led the Flyers with a career-high 9 total blocks. Senior setter BJ Bulldog had a floor-high 27 assists as the Flyers swept the Pioneers 3-0. The Flyers are back in action on Thursday night at 7 o'clock as they welcome Missouri Baptist to the Neil Carey Arena. Both Lewis track and field teams were on the road last weekend competing in the Wildcat Invitational hosted by Indiana Wesleyan. 2 members of the women's team were able to come away with NCAA provisional marks, both from long jumpers. Samantha McGaha and Kayla King came in second and third place respectively in the long jump event. Freshman Amanda Farrow won the 3,000-meter run, and junior Roslyn Somerville defeated teammate Brianna Ware in the weight throw competition. On the men's side, sophomore Adam Barr set a provisional mark for the third straight week in a row in the weight throw competition. Senior Sean Smith defeated teammate Andrew McLean for the 3,000-meter run, while sophomore Matthew Simmons came in second place in the long jump competition. Both teams will be back in action on Saturday as the Flyers head to Michigan to take place in the GVSU Invitational. Both Lewis swim teams were scheduled to compete against Indianapolis last Saturday, but the meets were canceled due to inclement weather. The meets against the Greyhounds will not be made up. Meanwhile, the Lewis women's tennis team took on Division I Northern Illinois in the spring opener. The Huskies came away with a 5-2 victory despite a win from senior Kendra Mills and Jill Westmore in doubles. Zofia Lanistak and Zofia Krensinski came away with a win in doubles as well. We're going to take a quick break here on Flyer Nation, but when we come back, we'll have Lewis head track and field coach Dana Schwarting. Stay tuned.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. We beg to differ. They are snapshots that represent lasting memories, stories to be told for years to come. Our story is one pictured not just with trophies, but with diplomas, friendships, a helping hand. New chapters beginning every season. This is the story of the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing. Wow!
I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark. That was awesome! Let's go again. 3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome back to Flyer Nation. Joining me now is Lewis head track and field coach Dana Schwarting. How are you today, Coach?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming out. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get started with this season so far. It hasn't really been a long season so far, but there's been a couple of big things: the Lewis Invitational, then the IWU Classical Invitational. What have you seen so far in both teams that you've liked?
Well, you never know in indoor track. We kind of start the season before Christmas, and then we come back and have that little bit of a break. So you're just trying to hope when they get back from Christmas break that they worked out and they stayed in some semblance of shape. But we were really pleased with the level of fitness of our team coming back, and they're all pretty dedicated, and that's always nice to see as a coach. So we were happy with our first couple of meets because of the level of fitness we were at, and obviously we know that as the season goes we're going to have better and better performances. But we're starting at a very high level, which gives us the coaching staff a lot of excitement going into the season.
Let's talk about the men's team a little bit. Yesterday, the USTF CCCA announced that your squad jumped from number 31 to number 11, which is the highest ranking in school history. What's it like to be ranked so high, especially for the first time?
Yeah, like I said, we knew we were going to have a good team this year, obviously coming off cross country and the fall track, seeing the workouts. And those first couple of meets, we've had quite a bit of success, more than we have in the past early on. So it's exciting to see the national ranking. Hopefully we're not overranked, but I think we definitely are a top 25 team in the country, and we can hold that position all year. But it creates excitement on the team too, and the guys know they're highly ranked, so now they have to, defend their position every week. It's easier to recruit when you're ranked, and you can sell your program a little better. So it's a great accomplishment to the team already. And like I said, I think we're going to have bigger and better things to come as the season goes. But it was a nice surprise to see us come up that that highly ranked right away, and now we got to go prove that we belong there.
So you've had quite a few guys setting provisional marks so far this season. We've mentioned it hasn't really been a long season so far, but setting these provisional marks, what's it like for you as a coach having guys going out there and performing very well so far?
Well, we tell a lot of our athletes, you have to kind of get some of your better marks out of the way at the beginning of the year, kind of get yourself ranked in the top 20 in the nation, and then you just got to increase throughout the year as the rest of the nation's going to do. You have to get out there and defend your spot. So it's much easier to get out there and get on the national list early and then just slowly improve from there, as opposed to someone who's just trying to get on that list so hard throughout the year. And usually if you just get on the list later in the season, you don't get into the national meet. You want to definitely get on that list and then prove that you belong throughout the year. So having 8 guys already qualified for nationals or on the national ranking list, again, just proves how deep our team is. And we have another 5 to 7 guys that are probably going to get on the national list here in the next couple weeks. So we're excited. We're looking forward to the meets that are coming up.
You've had a couple players of the week. GLVC announced last week that Adam Barr was the player of the week. This week, Matthew Simmons has been selected as the player of the week. What's it like? Talk about these two guys and just their leadership and how well they've been performing so far.
Yeah, I mean, our team is built. We're pretty well-rounded. We got a lot of running events, a lot of the field events, but we are really strong throughout the field events, the jumps, the throws. We kind of build our team around some of those areas. So the fact that they've been recognized already, Adam's a thrower and Matt's a jumper, it just shows that the quality that we have in some of those field event areas, and they've got teammates on their team that are pushing them right behind them also. So again, it's always nice to get those accolades because it does it kind of fires up the team a little bit and lets them know that they are being recognized. They work harder, it kind of snowballs, and it's a great thing to have happening.
Let's shift over to the women's side now. Just like the men, the women have set many provisional marks. Talk about the women's squad and how they've been performing so far.
Yeah, we have 4 girls that have already hit national qualifying marks, and we have a pretty talented women's team as well. They're maybe just a little bit further behind as far as where we're at in the season, and for the most part, it's because a lot of our distance girls, they went and made it to the national championships in cross country, and you take a little break between cross country and track, so they're probably about 2 weeks behind their training schedule, where most of their male counterparts are at. So we do think that some of our female distance runners will be getting on the national list in the next couple weeks, and that'll bump that number more similar to where the men are at. We do feel like that both of our programs, men and women, are top 25 teams. So I expect the women to be jumping into the rankings here in the next couple weeks as our distance girls kind of come around and start really getting after it.
Last weekend, Samantha Magaha and Kayla King set provisional marks. What's it like to have them on the team?
Our same with the women's program as our men. We really built around the field events. Those two are top right now, our top 2 women's long jumpers, and they both do other events at the conference level. But we have 7 of the top 11 long jumpers in the women's conference, and we just have really dominated the long jump and triple jump over the years. And that's kind of the formula we've used to win the conference title, and we're probably deeper at that event than we ever have been even in the past. So those two are just kind of setting the pace, and everyone that our rest of my jumpers are kind of just following in behind them. And then that success in those areas, gets excited and breeds over to other areas, and it's just contagious. And when track and field, you can't have 1 or 2 good events if you want to be a good team. You have to be really well-rounded. So the success in a few of those areas just really flows over into the other events and gets everyone on the team fired up, and it's just really, really contagious, and it's fun to coach.
Last weekend, freshman Amanda Farrow won the 3,000-meter run. How important are the freshmen?
And that's what it was in cross country. We had a bunch of freshmen coming in and pairing up with some of our upperclassmen, and we just had a really good mix. And like I said, they're a little behind because they competed 2 weeks later into the cross country season than someone else. And as freshmen, you don't want them to burn out during the year. It's a long season, cross country, indoor track, outdoor track. So you're going to see those freshman girls, Amanda Farrell, Steph Nielsen, and some of the other freshmen that are really going to start coming on here the next couple weeks in the track and field events. And that's kind of a shot in the arm to the rest of the track team too, because then the sprinters and jumpers see that area starting to have success. And again, it just builds everybody up. And we want to have that momentum build throughout the year, and that's what we're hoping to get ready to start seeing on the women's side.
So both teams go to the GVSU Invitational coming up this weekend. Just what do you expect out of the teams there?
This will be kind of our toughest meet of the year so far. It's only a 5-team meet, but it's a scored meet. All Division II schools. On the women's side, Lincoln and Grand Valley State, 2 of the 5 teams that are there, are ranked number 1 and 2 in the nation. So we'll go and run against them a little bit. And as it sets up, this track meet this weekend actually it sets up kind of an off weekend for us in our training schedules. So we won't look to have as huge a performance this weekend as last, maybe because we're kind of training through this weekend for the big push towards our conference meet in 4 weeks after this. So we're going to go there and mix it up with some of these better teams, see where we stand in a few of our individual events. But then after this meet, we'll kind of regroup, and then we have 4 meets including the conference meet. And that'll be the big push for us to really start improving and kind of make a push towards that GLVC championships up in late February.
All right, well, Coach, is there anything else you'd like to add before you leave today?
No, like I said, it's really building. It's exciting. The coaching staff's really excited. It's going to be a really fun season, and we're just hopefully the next 4 weeks is really going to shine.
All right, well, good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Flyer Nation.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
In 1978, 6 institutions joined to form one of the nation's top NCAA Division II conferences. Today, this union has expanded to 16 proud members celebrating 35 years of commitment to the classroom, championships, and the community. Pioneers who paved the way, leaders who emerged from within. Progress made possible by people. Today, it's those people that inspire the next generation to guide us forward in the next 35 years. We are the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Flyer Nation. We have a lot of recognition to give out this week. We'll start with the Great Lakes Valley Conference announcing last week that Lewis University sophomore jumper Matthew Simmons has been named the GLVC Player of the Week. Simmons met the NCAA provisional mark in the triple jump at the Lewis Invitational just 2 weeks ago and competed well in the IWU Classical Invitational last weekend. The American Volleyball Coaches Association has named junior outside hitter Greg Petty the NCAA Division I and II Player of the Week award. Petty hit a combined .600 last weekend when he helped the Flyers get victories over Harvard and Sacred Heart. Petty also had 9 block assists, 4 assists, and 3 service aces over 7 sets of action. Lewis University head men's volleyball coach Dan Friend has been selected as an assistant coach for the USA Volleyball High Performance 2014 men's junior team. Friend will join many other top coaches from the country as they compete for the 2nd straight title at the North Central American and Caribbean Volleyball Confederation Championship in El Salvador. The MIVA announced this week that Lewis redshirt freshman middle blocker Jacob Schmiegelt has been selected as the Defensive Player of the Week. Schmiegelt tallied 11 blocks and hit .333 with 5 kills in the Flyers' victory over Harvard last Saturday. Last week we introduced the Flyer Nation Player of the Week award. This week it was really hard to decide on just one athlete to give the award to, so I decided we should give it to a couple. We'll start off with first with Jamie Johnson from the women's basketball team. Jamie scored a career-high 27 points on Thursday night against Southern Indiana, and just 2 days later, Johnson scored 26 points against Bellarmine. Johnson is also coming off of an injury that kept her out of play all last season. It's good to see her back and playing like she was before her injury. We would also like to give our Athlete of the Week award to Ryan Jackson of the men's basketball team. Jackson scored 20 points on Thursday night against Southern Indiana and 23 points on Saturday against Bellarmine. Jackson says he has to give his team a lot of credit for his success last weekend and says, as always, both winning and losing is a team effort. So good to see all of those congratulations or all those awards going out to the Flyers, and congrats to all of them who have been selected for awards. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back here on LUTN.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
In 1978, 6 institutions joined to form one of the nation's top NCAA Division II conferences. Today, this union has expanded to 16 proud members celebrating 35 years of commitment to the classroom, championships, and the community. Pioneers who paved the way, leaders who emerged from within. Progress made possible by people. Today, it's those people that inspire the next generation to guide us forward in the next 35 years. We are the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
Discover Lewis University and discover more.
It was a great school, small class sizes, one-on-one attention.
The professors are able to give you their real-world experience.
You have nursing majors who are in simulation labs, aviation majors that are flying overhead.
I go back to my Lewis University security force days and tell them this is my foundation and this is how I train.
Lewis's 5 campuses made it convenient for me as a working adult.
Grow, learn, and succeed at Lewis University.
It's cold outside and classwork is starting to pile up, so why not take a break from the work and sit in the warm Neal Carey Arena to catch some Lewis athletic events. Let's take a look at what's coming up. On Thursday, we have men's volleyball against Missouri Baptist at 7 o'clock p.m. You can catch all the action right here on LUTN Channel 6, as well as our radio station, WLRA 88.1 FM. There were also several contests being held on the road this week. On Thursday, both basketball teams head to Indianapolis to take on the Greyhounds. On Saturday, the teams head to St. Joseph's. Both track and field teams are also on the road participating in the GVSU Invitational. Also, don't forget to check your Lewis email accounts for the weekly flight plan email, which will keep you up to date on the upcoming games, both home games and away games. Also, don't forget on Thursday night, the men's volleyball team is celebrating pizza night during their game, so be sure to come out to the Neal Carey Arena and find out for yourself what exactly pizza night is. There might be some sort of food involved. Don't quote me on that, I have no idea, but come out to the Neal Carey Arena and find out what pizza night is all about. I don't know, pizza? I can deal with that. Well, anyways, that will just about wrap it up for us here today on Flyer Nation. I was so wrapped up thinking about pizza. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you join in next week as head men's volleyball coach Dan Friend stops by. From all of us here at Flyer Nation, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next week right here on LUTN.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.